Namaste, good morning, and another episode of Dekho Apna Desh. I'm sure you are all looking forward to this one in a very different way because it's going to not just take you to the India of today, but it's also going to take you to the India of the 12th century, 13th century, 14th century, and on the eastern board of India. It's an absolutely beautiful part of our country. In fact, I was fortunate enough just last week to be traveling to Rajamundry and to Kakinada and to Vishakhapatnam. And before today's, our very special guest tells you everything about the Kakatiya dynasty, I am already going to, make you tempted that you must travel to that part of the country. The coastline is absolutely amazing and it is green, it's clean. And if you're a fish lover and a prawn lover, it's a place to seriously visit and keep walking so that you keep feeling hungry for the spicy, very spicy Andhra food that comes from Guntur. Spices actually get exported to all over the world. I am hoping that today's our very special guest is going to tell you all about that also. Now, I'm going to stop talking, right? If I keep talking, then what's my very special guest going to talk about? So once again, viewers, welcome to another episode of Dekho Apna Desh. And today, taking us back into history is Shrinu. Shrinu, welcome, namaskaram. And Shrinu is our registered guide from the Ministry of Tourism and has been with the profession for 22 odd years. And he hasn't still stopped learning. He has done his master's in archaeology from the Osmania University and is currently pursuing his PhD. So next time you're in that area, you exactly know who to get in touch with. And in case any of you wonder, how do you even find these people, because you must be wondering when our episode is done, how do I get in touch with that person? Well, currently there is something called the Dekho Apna Desh webinar series that is available on the website of Ministry of Tourism. All the episodes done till now are there. So if you're traveling to a particular region, go and visit these episodes and plan your travels. Very soon, we are also, with the assistance of the NEGD, which has been an absolutely fantastic technical partner for us, we are coming up with a special portal which will be dedicated just to the episodes of Dekho Apna Desh. They'll just make it easier for you all to find it, and we'll be able to craft and create lot many more options in that portal. So, a big thanks to the NEGD for taking this up on their own for us. And we will take Dekho Apna Desh very strongly forward with their support. Also, very soon, which is just about 72 hours away, we are going to launch something called the e-marketplace, where all our registered guides are going to be putting their profiles. And if you're sitting anywhere in India or anywhere in the world, you can reach out and find out about the region that you're planning to go to. Check on the profile. And in this case, for example, if you're really seriously interested in going to the region, looking not just at the food, which is amazing today, but want to learn a little more about the history and the archaeology of the region, Srinu is your right guy to go to. And Srinu's profile will be there on something called the e-marketplace, which shall be launched by the Honorable Minister of Tourism just about 72 hours from now. And I'm going to talk about more that next time, therefore. So for now, it's under wraps. But I'm just giving you an idea of what's coming for all of you. So I think I have been speaking long enough. Once again, with my thanks to all of you, because it's because of all of you that Dekho Apna Desh episodes are where they are. And we look forward to keep walking the journey of incredible India with our incredible guides to showcase to you with those special stories from our beautiful country. So welcome once again to all the viewers. Welcome once again to Shrinu and to Dr. Ajay Singh, who is a permanent partner with me in Dekho Apna Desh. And now, viewers, let's go down the history lane to the Kakatiya dynasty. Let's see. Come, Shrinu.
Namaste, madam. And hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, The Great Kakatiyans of Orugallu. It's a very interesting. I want to keep it the name as Orugallu is a historical name. So people start thinking about in groups, they're talking about what is Orugallu. So that's what I keep it, but originally known as Warangal. So let me 1 minute. I want to share my screen. 1 minute. Just a minute, I am not techie, so just I'm getting into the slides. Yeah, Kakatiyas of Orugallu. The tagline is a historical journey to Marco Polo Loud City. Marco Polo specially visited at the time of Rudrama Devi, and his chronicles, he talk about a beautiful city of Orugallu and Orugallu kingdom. And also in Ma's first slide, you're also able to see the beautiful Mukha, Kirti Mukha. So this is a main thing to decorate most of the Kakatiyan temples. So this is a Kakatiyan where the southern Indian map, you can able to see three important dynasties: Yadavas of Devagiri, Oyasalas of Dwarasamudram, and Kakatiyas of Warangal. Where I made the red mark, this part is a Kakatiyan empire. And here you are able to see clearly. So they are up to the control of Kanchipuram of Tamil Nadu, Simachalam and coastal eastern Andhra, and Orugallu is the dry land. So where actually I'm presenting now. Yeah, origin of Kakatiyas, we have hundreds of brains, thousands of hours. They're brainstorming about origins of Kakatiyas. But they have so many inscriptions like Anmakonda Lake inscription, Bayaram Lake inscription. These inscriptions saying Kakatiyas belongs to Kakatipuram. You know, interesting thing is in reality, there is no Kakatipuram. But some of inscriptions talking about Kakatiya started from Kuravi. This is a small town which is on Chennai-Delhi railway line, where you see the station called Mahabubabad or known as Manukota. From there is a 10 kilometers where originally they said they have started their origin. And Kakatiyas, the first man who is from Gundana, he is the first ever member in the family line of Kakatiyas to bear the surname of Kakatiya and Kakatiya. His name was mentioned for the first ever time in the Managallu chapter issued by Eastern Chalukyans of Vengi. And this man is able military commander at the time of Rashtrakuta III. He won the war against Ammaraja of Vengi. And his bravery is loyal to the Rashtrakutas. And successfully his name and fame was become very bigger way. Unfortunately, sudden collapse of Rashtrakutas, this entire area which become a part of Western Chalukyas of Badami and Vengi Chalukyans of Vengi. And this man continued, he decided a small principality which is called Kuravi, also in Telugu called Karadivi, literally translate in English, a dense forest. It's a thick, dense forest. So where the journey of Gundana was started. And his son Betaraju came on the power, but he controlled things only for sedimentary area. After that, Polaraja I and Betaraju II and Polaraju II. So these are all, they controlled as a sedimentary state to the Chalukyans of Badami and Chalukyans of Vengi. But still, they are moved their capital from Koravi to Hanamakonda, presently known as Warangal, Hanamakonda, and Kajipet. This is the Tri-City. So Hanamakonda basically they made their first fort by Prola II. And he dig his own tank in Hanamakonda Lake. And who basically to help lot to the Western Chalukyans. And he controlled his kingdom in this part of Warangal area. Later, his son Rudradeva came on the power. But Rudradeva is the first independent ruler of Kakatiya Empire, and who was ruled 1158 to 1195. He expanded his kingdom north of Warangal up to the Godavari River, towards to south of Warangal up to Gokarna in Karnataka. But unfortunately, in the war with the Yadava kings, he died in the hands of Jayatungi. After that, his brother Mahadeva came on the power. Mahadeva, it's a short time he was ruled there. After that, same usual problems with the Yadava rulers, usual fights with the Yadavas. Mahadeva died in the hands of Jayapani Yadava. At the time, Ganapati Deva is a very young. So after died Mahadeva, Ganapati Deva imprisoned in Yadava kingdom. Same time, very unfortunate, there is no king for Kakatiya Empire. So many feudatories of Kakatiyas, they started make them their independence. But definitely, there is a great person of Kakatiya Empire, which called Recharla Rudra, is a great general, subordinate of Kakatiyas. And he take initiative to keep away the Kakatiyan legacy. He started controlling his domestic quarrels of kingdom of Kakatiyas. Meanwhile, Yadavas, as well as Hoyasalas of Dwarasamudram, they have usual fight seriously. So Dwarasamudram, Hoyasalas almost conquered North Karnataka area, like Badami and all the parts. That time, Yadava king was think a better keep good relation with towards to east of Yadava kingdom. That's called as Warangal. So immediately he decided a release from imprison Ganapati Deva. So young Ganapati Deva arrived in Warangal. His general Recharla Rudra was welcomed him, and Ganapati Deva throned in Kakatiya kingdom. Time of that, he's the first Kakatiyan king. He started his expansion towards to east coast area. He knows Yadavas of Devagiri as well as Oyasal of Dwarasamudram, very stronger kingdoms. So he thought better towards to east coast to expansion his kingdom. Ganapati Deva is the first war against Andhra kingdoms, which is called Velanadu. The Velanadu is basically present day called Vijayawada. After successful victory in Velanadu area, and who married the two girls of Velanadu, Naramma and Peramma, then he made his maternal relations stronger towards to east coast area. Then after, he decided to expansion his kingdom further entire coast of east. Then he moved towards to Nellore Telugu Chodas, and Kalinga of South Odisha, and Kammanadu Addinki in Guntur district, and eastern Gangas of Vengi. So he successfully done all he control in his hand. Then after first Kakatiyan Empire, he bore the title Andhra Deshishwara. So entire Kakatiya kingdom came to under his leadership, all the Telugu speaking areas of present day of Telangana and Andhra. Almost 75 feudatories under him. And that time he concentrated on the capital to shift from Hanamakonda to Warangal, what we call as Orugallu. So he made Ekashila Fort, that's called one rock fort. He made it. And he made done is a mud fort, almost 12.5 kilometers. And he had a rock formation, granite wall and around. And he concentration most on agriculture. You know very well, Warangal is strategically taken by Kakatiyans. Reason it is a landlocked state, but still Kakatiyans were choose and Deccan plateau, so that he expanded towards to the eastern border. He made his port in Motupalli in Prakasham district of Andhra Pradesh now. After that, he concentrated to agriculture lands. And he rigged so many lakes, agriculture ponds and lakes, and exports and imports to different nations of the world. For that, first king of the country, he abolished tax system. He bring one tax instead of doing taxes. He started as one custom duty, so that financially, the Kakatiya become flourished. And also after that, he further want to continue his victory, his conquered towards to Nellore. After Nellore, he continued towards to Madura. So Madura Pandyans are very strong. Unfortunately, Kakatiyan Emperor Ganapati Deva lose the war. After this war, he decided to think. He became very old. As my knowledge, I hope in the entire Indian history, this is the only Ganapati Deva ruled more than 62 years of his rule. Then he decided he wanted to coronate his next family member. And unfortunately, he don't have any male child. He had two daughters. The youngest daughter, Rani Rudrama Devi. See, when you read about Kakatiyan history, the people get the goosebumps. Rani Rudrama is the great, first Indian woman empire. She wore the male attire and ruled much better than contemporary rulers at the time. And main important, she directly participated in wars to encourage soldiers. The way she was expanded her kingdom. But at the time I mentioned, the Marco Polo was visited through Motupalli. He came to Warangal. But his chronicles, his writing says a little bit wrong about Kakatiyan king. He said, after her husband, she ruling better kingdom of Kakatiya. But later, so many inscriptions says she is the daughter, not the wife of the him. It's the way he continued, and she was added one more graniated wall to Warangal Fort. At the same, he continues so many subordinates like feudatories under her, more than 75 feudatories she controlling. And these all the feudatories are male dominated. They are not accepted, not willing to allow the woman rule. But she controlled successfully. Even she was very busy with the wars. Her stepbrothers, Murari Deva and Harihara Deva, declared themselves they are kings of Warangal. Later, she back to Orugallu, and in the help of Recharla Prasad Aditya, her subordinate, she successfully killed these two stepbrothers, and she continued as a rule. And when she was busy with the wars, towards to east of Hyderabad, there is a place called Chandupatla. She is fighting with the Kayastu kings of Ambadeva. On fine day, that is a Kartika Monday, the Kakatiyans are very much followed by Shaivism. And she was offering praise to Lord Shiva in Kartika Monday. And some of Ambadeva army came the attire of like Brahmins, and they backstabbed to her. So after she died in the war, her grandson, because she again had no male child, she had two daughters. Originally, she was the wife of Vengi Chalukyan, Veerabhadra. And Prataparudra II, his grandson, came on the power in 1295 to 1323. And he's the first declared war against Ambadeva. He killed Ambadeva and his son. But when he came to the power, same time his contemporary Alauddin Khilji came on the power in Delhi Sultan. That was the biggest turn in history of South. The same time, 4 strong kingdoms was ruling in the south. Yadavas of Devagiri, Hoysalas of Darasamudram, Pandyans of Mathura, Kakatiyas of Warangal. These are all 4 kingdoms, economically, socially, culturally, very rich. But only one thing, in between these 4, there is no unity. So that's a major thing. 1320s, Tughlaqs came to this power in Delhi, and Tughlaqs, Ghaziuddin Tughlaq's son, Hulla Khan, in 1323, he attacked with his kingdom of Orugallu. And Kakatiya king Prataparudra is successfully defended. And then Tughlaq army back to the Devagiri. Immediately, Kakatiyan king Prataparudra decided to release his army force to encourage agriculture in Kakatiyan Empire. And he distributed all the food grains to the people of Kakatiya Empire. But he never expected very quick way they're written back by Tughlaqs. Within the span of 4 months' time, second attack from Tughlaqs, Hulla Khan. So unfortunately, they are not mobilized their army. And they are not enough the food grains in the kingdom. But still, he sees of almost 5 months. But these Kakatiyans are introduced the new system of Nayankars. Nayankars is outsourcing the army. So one side, his own army was in agriculture. Other side, the Nayankars was not helping much to fight against Tughlaqs. So Prataparudra decided himself to open doors of Kakatiya kingdom, Kakatiya fort of Warangal, and Tughlaqs, they are imprisoned. Kakatiyan king take them to the Delhi. On the way, Prataparudra II was jump into the Narmada river. He died. Such heights was reached by Kakatiyan kingdom, but fall down at the time of Prataparudra II. So this is where I talk about Kuravi. So this is the only remains we had in Kuravi area. So this is the temple which was time of Gundena. So of course they have new additions came, but this is a main Shikara is a part of Gundena time, is a Kuravi area. So this is, I can say, the where the coronation ceremony. This is imagination pictures of Rudrama Devi and Ganapati Deva. So we're giving coronation ceremony here and how the queen in this place. You can see this slide. Before we going to the Kakatiyan thing, Kakatiyas are great pattern of a tributary concept. Do you know tributary? T for temple, T for town, T for tank. It's a very important taglines of Kakatiyan Empire. Without the three, we never finish any talk about Kakatiyans. Now we are going to talk about a first T. Kakatiyans had two different styles of temples, architecture. Early Kakatiyan style and late bit. The early Kakatiyans are basically like a Trikuta temples and common mandapa. And which is the best example in our slide in the first picture, which is called a 1,000-pillar temple of Warangal. And also you can see the second picture. You know all ever about this Ramappa temple. The Garbhagriha, Antarala, and Mukhamandapa. And one Vimana here we see. So this is a simple difference of Kakatiyan, two different styles. And Kakatiyans are great and big follower of Chalukyans of Badami, Hoysalas of Dwarasamudram. The influence we can see in Kakatiyan temples. But finally they become their own way to build the temple architecture of great Kakatiyan. I hope you see my slide, how I said temple, town, and tank. You're able to see here temple of Ramappa in the center of my slide. And you can see the corner, there is a beautiful lake of Ramappa. And this side part, there is a Palampet village. So they always keep it a temple, town, tank. So this is a beautiful plan of a Ramappa temple. So where you can see the Garbhagriha, and you can see the Antarala, and you can see the Natya Mandapa or Ranga Bhumika. You can see the Sabha Mandapa here, where the people. Also, you can see the 5, it is a Kakshasana. And here you can see which is called the miniature cell or different temples of miniature. And opposite of the big temple map, you can see here, it is called the Nandi Mandapa and Nandi inside. Nandi also one of the great, beautiful decorated Nandis of Kakatiyas. We'll see the next slides of those. And it is the Deva Costa, where is the miniature temple in the behind. So this is a completely the temple of Ramappa plan. So now we see now we can see the 3 different, in my slide, 3 different pictures. One picture for lightweight bricks. Other one is a light on the guard. Third one is a sandbox technology. This is the 3 major regions. Our Bharat Sarkar, Government of India, ASI, presented to UNESCO to convince to get the tagline of UNESCO. So this we can, some of the bricks of Ramappa temple are the floating porous bricks. These temples are sent to examination to Hyderabad. Dr. Habib Hamam, a chief chemist of Government Industrial Lab. He was kindly reported as a sample of the floating bricks from Ramappa. The method of is concerned, the material used to make brick, spongy, was apparently sawdust. The weight of specimens, 1/3 or 1/4 of the ordinary bricks of the same size. Homogeneous mixing and uniform burning are the main thing for the floating bricks. Also, sandbox technology. It's a great engineering marvel in Kakatiyan time. Sandbox in the foundation act like the cushion. In the case of earthquakes, most of vibrations caused by earthquake lose their strength while passing through the sand by the reach the actual foundation of building. That is the way they protect the Kakatiyan temples. And third, we can see the light. Throughout the day, whenever you visit Kakatiyan Ramappa temple, a light always reflection on the Ramalingeshwara, the main deity of Kakatiya Ramappa temple. So this is an inner view of Kakatiyan main temple, Ramappa. The temple was built by Rachel Rudra, the Kakatiyan general, in 1215, but named after the great sculptor Ramappa. We're able to see the light on the god. Also, two sides of doorway beautifully decorated with the musical drums and other musical ornaments, and two Dwarapalikas here. And here also, we see similarities of Vitala temple of Hampi. Everybody aware about that musical pillars. Same kind of pillars we are able to see in Kakatiyans. So probably they are copied from Kakatiyan temple. Even interesting story I want to share with you. Recently we did exploration around Hyderabad. There is a fine one hill in Aitipamala village on the national highway of Vijayawada, where we found the small hill which they have things. When you beat that stones, it get the different musics. If anybody want to more about that, after finish my webinar, you can personally contact me on WhatsApp. I will share you the things about how these musical pillars came from that area. And also four great pillars inside. This is basically create a reflection throughout the day on the god. What we think about history is a combination of physics and chemistry and engineering skills they involved in this. That is the way light and lightweight bricks and earthquake resistance, this all come through this engineering. Today we call as history. Also above the Ranga Mandapa or Natya Mandapa, you can see the beautiful slabs. And here have Ashtadikapalakas in 8 directions. All the beams was decorated, beautiful Ramayana, as well as Shiva Purana and other epics too. And little come out from the main temple complex. Once we come to outside, we see the beautiful view, outer view of the Madanikas. See, after 3 things of these Kakatiyans, technology, and 4th, a beautiful technique, how beautifully they are decorated, Madanikas. Madanikas are beautiful maidens, showing roles of maiden like Nagini, Manini, Rati, Mardala, Dalamika, Huntress, and dancers. These figures are most described and acknowledged sculptures among the Kakatiyan sculptures. The maiden sculpture depict the powerful emotions of human heart and its joy and sorrow, enjoyment, experience. Its passionate outburst and tender moods are expressed by Kakatiyan sculptors through these maidens. There are totally 12, 3 sides of entrances, 3 into 4, 12 Madanikas. In the guide's perspective, this is the most important to explain our visitors. So first in my screen, this Madanika, called as Dalamika, is a woman garlanding herself with a branch. She decorated with ornaments like Padasara, Kadiya, and especially the Padukas. See, where is the passion was started? Look at the heels in her feet, the padukas, the garments of Dalamalika are designed with circular and diamond designs, are quite beautiful. She's showing graceful dancing pose. Even you can see my second Madanika called Nagini with the two snakes. Nagini carrying a snake in her lifted hands. Another snake hanging like a garland over her shoulders. This most important Madanika among others. She portrayed as a tantric figure. She coiled the coiled serpent at the Nagini's feet. She is a symbol of Kundalini force. When the serpent uncoils, she got spiritual enlightenment is achieved. She is called a yogini who got serpent power, symbolizing holding serpent in her hand. She attained Siddhi, and such individual don't have any consciousness of their physical body. Naked body conveys this. The idea of exuberance of youth with unfettered emotions is illustrated by this Nagini sculpture. So one more now Nagini, one more the Madanika is called as Rati in the first one in my screen. Rati, goddess of shown holding a sugar cane, is symbolized the love, tenderness, advent of spring. Her legs are in Vaishtapada Mudra. Her garland, the most appreciated element. And second one called Gayani. Gayani is a singer in Tribanga Foes with the two miniature drummers on two sides. The Madanika posing with her entire weight on the right leg, her left leg raised and knee bent, her hand palm with Hamsa Mudra. Her mouth is half open, showing like she is singing.
Srinuji, there is a black line coming on the top. So you can stop the PPT and again restart so that will disappear. This black line.
Okay. 1 minute. Is okay now? Sarji?
It is okay now.
Okay. So another one is called Mardala. This Madanika with the Mridanga, they playing Mridanga, placed on her chest. She is in the Diviganga pose, flanked by musicians. Another one is Abhinaya Nartaki. So modern day of the dancer. Figure is turning her body and looking towards to right side. She raised her arms towards to the sky. She is in Trivanga pose. So another one is, the first one is called Nartaki. Standing firmly on the left side and right leg or her left thigh, close to her breast, and hand firmly lifted above. And fourth one here, this one, Nartaki again. She flanked with the two musicians in the down. Her hands raised above head. She is also in Tribanga pose. Oh my God. Closer. Yeah, 1 minute. Some technical glitch. 1 minute. Yeah, now is okay. So in my screen, there is a huntress of Madanika. Madanika is a unique figure of Ramappa temple, holds a bow and arrow in her right hand. The other one is Gaini Nartaki. She is forcing her weight on her left leg, knee bent. Yeah, this way they have a total 12 Madanikas, and we are able to see even outer view of Ramappa temple. So here we can see this in the right side of Ramappa Mandir, Ramappa temple. Like this, all the three sides they are decorated. These 12 Madanikas are. Even you can see the beautiful view of Ramappa temple. This was done recently when the Indian government marked 1 billion this vaccination program. So they are decorated the UNESCO monument with the Trilinga color. So this is outer view. Beautifully have Ramappa temple. You can see the like high platform, and you can see the Madanikas. And also is a very important decorative thing in Ramappa and Kakatiyan temples, Nandi. Nandi is basically even either early Kakatiyans or late Kakatiyans. The Nandi decorated in richer way. This is one of the Nandi, which opposite of Ramappa Mandir, as well as same Nandi we are able to see in 1,000-pillar temples of Warangal. So this is a 1,000-pillar temple of Warangal. The temple have 1,000 pillars. The local people call them as Veyi Stambala Gudi. So translate in English is 1,000 pillars. This is also star-shaped temple, but Trikuta style, 3 shrines in this temple, Shiva, Vishnu and Surya. But common thing is only common Rangamandapa of 3. And opposite, you can able to see here a beautiful Nandi. This temple basically in the 11th century by Rudradeva, the first Kakatiyan empire. You will see the clear view of Kakatiyan temple of 1,000 pillar. So here you have right side of the screen is a Shiva temple. Exactly in the center is a Vishnu Mandir, Vishnu temple. And then left side is called as a Surya temple. So 3 shrines in the common and 1 platform this place. Generally 2 big elephants decorated in the front of entrance of 1,000 pillar, but recently kept as renovation is going on now. So they kept is the Nandi in the place of elephant. The same town in Warangal, they have beautiful living temple of Bhadrakali. This temple is basically built at the time of Western Chalukyans of Badami, but Kakatiyans was renovated this temple, and Kakatiyans are added left eye of this goddess, Bhadrakali. They said the Kohinoor diamond was fixed in the left eye of this goddess Bhadrakali. But later on, you know, aware about the story of Kohinoor. It's changed different hands of Indian history. So this is one of the oldest temple in Kakatiyan style. So as we talk already, temple, town, and tank. We already discussed a bit about the Kakatiyan temples. Now we can see include the Kakatiyan town. This is the temple of 1,000 pillars. This is the temple complex of Trikuta, and opposite is a 1,000 pillar mandapa. Same time around you can see the town of Hanumakonda, which is the first capital for Kakatiyans. And same, they also followed the same system. Behind this Padmakshi hills, they have huge Hanumakonda lake. So lake, town, and tank, they are tagline of Kakatiyas. They followed. Also, after they are moved to Hanumakonda to Warangal, you see the beautiful Warangal Fort. This is also more or less like city. Kakatiyans, they have the Ekashila temple, single stone of Mandir. Also, they have Swayambhu temple of Shiva and the lake together. So lake and city of Orugallu Fort as well as temple together. So they have the carnated wall. It was made by Rudramadevi, and also you can see the moat around. So one of the best defensive fort of the country. And also the not much available Kakatiyan palaces. You know, after attacks by Delhi Sultans, most of them, they're destroyed, and few of still intact. This is called Shitab Khan Mahal. But later, of course, it was renovated by time of Nizams. And most decorative thing in Kakatiyan Empire, probably you see when you Google about Kakatiyans, first appear in the screen is Hamsa Torana or Shila Torana or Kakatiya Torana, whatever you call. It's called because there is a Hamsas on the top of this gateway, so that it is called Hamsa Torana. Or we can say like gateway of Kakatiyan Empire. Even Swayambhu temple or wherever in Kakatiyan kingdoms, they always decorate this gateway. No, interesting thing, after Telangana formation, government of Telangana adopted this symbol as a Rajamudra of Telangana Raj. So beautiful view, the remains of Swayambhu temple complex. This lake is such a beautiful temple complex, of course destroyed, but ruins still make such a beautiful scenic picture. And pillars of Kakatiyans and gateways of Kakatiyans we are able to see still in Warangal Fort. As we talk, already is my tagline of my webinar, Kakatiyas of Orugallu, a historical journey to Marco Polo Loud City. Definitely without talking Marco Polo, our webinar is not finished. Marco Polo, everybody knows, the Venice traveler who came to Malabar coast, where he traveled towards to north, another 1,000 miles or kilometers. And he arrived in Motupalli. You can see here in my map, is a small port of Motupalli. This is the official port started at the time of Ganapati Deva. As I told you already, is Telangana or Warangal, Kakatiyan Empire as a landlocked state. But that make it, they expanded the kingdom up to the east coast, where he made his own port, where he do imports and exports. So that time of Rudrama Devi, the Mr. Marco Polo visited Kakatiyan Empire. And he made the beautiful statements about Ramappa temple. If the galaxy of the temples, Ramappa is the brightest star. Is it truly? He's saying, is a chronicle saying about that. Still recently, excavation started the AP State Archaeology. Here, the remains of Kakatiyans, Kodandarama temple, also one Tamil inscription was founded in this area. So that is the more authentic, the Motupalli is part of Kakatiyan Empire. We talk temples, towns. Third tagline is tanks. Now, without talking about Kakatiyan tanks or reservoirs, Kakatiya are a great pattern to dug the lakes, reservoirs across entire Andhra and Telangana region. Particularly in Telangana, they made 70,000 lakes. Even it's come not into the imagination. I'm talking about 11, 12, 13th century. They are very visionary to providing water for agriculture and drinking water for his kingdom. You know, they have two beautiful rivers, Krishna and Godavari, flowing through the Telangana land. But we are in the almost 600 feet height. It's unable to reach the water. That's the reason Kakatiyans were very visionary to make the man-made lakes. Those lakes called in Telugu, Golusu Kattu Cheruvulu, which means chain lake system. Whenever we have a rainfall, each and every drop of rain, they catch these lakes. One lake fill, the excess water, a flood goes to another lake. The way the chain lake system, they fill all the lakes at the time. That's not only just the keeping of water in the lake, which recharge of the ground, so groundwater will improve. This way they maintain. Warangal is one of the very early dry land area is produced the rice, which called as today we call Sona Masuri, which is very popular rice from Warangal. The way they made these lakes, and Kakatiyan lakes, usually called K Samudram, Dwara Samudram, Raya Samudram. Do you know the meaning of Samudram in Telugu? Like ocean. Reason their lakes is not in small. It's a very bigger way they build the lakes. Through these lakes, they do their agriculture. Like that, still, we have so many lakes. One which in my screen is called Laknavaram Lake. It's very close to the Ramappa temple. You ever visit Ramappa temple, you must go to the Laknavaram. There are also beautiful facility created by Telangana tourism. They have a hanging bridge and all. Beautiful islands they created. So this is another view of Laknavaram Lake. This is called Pakala Lake. How scenic beauty of this Pakala. It's look like ocean. This is also all built at the time of Kakatiyans. And also, this is the Ramappa Lake, which is very close to Ramappa temple, which irrigated lakhs of acres of land around Palampet village. And the last lake I'm showing here, which is called Bhadrakali. It is in Warangal, in the town. See that there is a lake here. Next to the lake, you can find the Bhadrakali temple. And behind this hill is Warangal and Hanmakonda towns. So always they followed the triple tree, temple, town, and tank. Same inspiration by the Kakatiyans. Present government of Telangana, after the form of the state in 2014, the movement of Telangana, which a tagline is a water, employment. That is the way our Honorable Chief Minister, once he formed in 2015, his first priority started renovating the lakes. Take out the slit or slit from the lake area so that it is created to fill the more water. The way they are taken 4 years plan, they renovated more or less 46,300 lakes. Dear friends, you imagine such a beautiful program. The government put the name called Mission Kakatiya, respecting Kakatiyans. Where we had 70,000 lakes of Kakatiyans, they dried up. Now we come to 4,600. So these are all the lakes. You are not imagine capacity of 265 TMC of water, but still we call it minor irrigation. When you compare with this is a major irrigation project. This way they are helping the agriculture today. Still the Kakatiyans are in our lives. So Warangal as well as Telangana, not only history, we have beautiful fairs and festivals. I hope you're watching my screen. You see the woman preparing a Batukama, one of the beautiful floral festival from Warangal. Of course, now celebrating entire the state, including in Andhra. So thing is, Batukama is a floral festival. It's come as the time of Durga Puja, how the entire country was celebrated. But Telangana, especially celebrated with the flowers. We call son of soils. Telangana women, the men who used to collect the wildly growing flowers, they handed over to their wives or children in the house. They prepared Batukama, which is like Japanese Ikebana system. Once they are prepared, slide 1, you can see they started the preparation after the Gauri Puja. They continue to finish like this. This is a fully finished Batukama. So those Batukamas, very huge gatherings in the state in the 9 days. But final day, you not imagine the crowd of women, very colorful saris and colorful things. They come together one place. They celebrated Batukama festival. And the picture I'm screen on my screen, this is recently got Guinness Book of World Record, the huge gatherings of Batukama in Hyderabad. Dear friends, I want to just play a 3 minutes, a video. It's a beautiful video about Batukama, the flower festival.
That will be wonderful, Srinu.
Thank you, sir.
రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఇంటి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఊరి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఇంటి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఊరి దాకా ఉన్నాయి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ పత్రులు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ వీరాయి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ గంధము తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ పున్నాయి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ పత్రులు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ వీరాయి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ గంధము తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఇంటి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఊరి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఇంటి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఊరి దాకా చేమంతి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ చీరలు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ రుద్రాక్ష పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ రవికలు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ చేమంతి పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ చీరలు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ రుద్రాక్ష పువ్వుల గౌరమ్మ రవికలు తెచ్చినాము గౌరమ్మ రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ మా ఇంటి దాకా రావు రావు గౌరమ్మ
ఒక్కేసి పువ్వేసి సందమామ ఒక్క జాములాయ సందమామ ఒక్కేసి పువ్వేసి సందమామ ఒక్క జాములాయ సందమామ చూడచేయాలయ సందమామ శివుడు రాకపాయ సందమామ చూడచేయాలయ సందమామ శివుడు రాకపాయ సందమామ శివుడికి శ్రీ గద్దె సందమామ మాకు సారే గద్దె సందమామ మూడేసి పూలేసి సందమామ మూడు జాములాయ సందమామ
మూడేసి పూలేసి సందమామ మూడు జాములాయ సందమామ
చూడింకరాడాయ సందమామ శివుని పూజలాయ సందమామ
చూడింకరాడాయ సందమామ శివుని పూజలాయ సందమామ
గోరెంట చెట్లల్ల సందమామ గోడ వెట్టవాయ సందమామ
గోరెంట చెట్లల్ల సందమామ గోడ వెట్టవాయ సందమామ
నాలుగేసి పూలేసి సందమామ నాలుగు జాములాయ సందమామ
నాలుగేసి పూలేసి సందమామ నాలుగు జాములాయ సందమామ
శివ పూజలాయ సందమామ
Oh, it was really wonderful video, Srinu.
Thank you, sir.
Oh.
So that way they celebrated this festival in Warangal, but these flowers all had medical values. That's what once they finished the festival, they immersed these flower decorations into the lakes of Kakatiyans. So which makes purified the water. So entire the rain season, whatever the water came, these flowers used to be purified. So always any part of festival which link to the lives of the Kakatiya kingdom, to the people of Kakatiyans. Also, not only Batkama, there is another beautiful festival called Medaram Sammakka Saralamma Jatara. I hope, friends, you recently, last month, we celebrated this festival, a Jatara, the fair, in February month. Every 2 years once we celebrated. You not believe, this is called as one of the small Indian Kumbh Mela. It's one of the biggest tribal gatherings in Asia. Sammakka Sarakka Jatara. See, when I say this Sammakka and Sarakka, so Telangana people, I told you, the son of soils, they always claim the gods and goddesses, their own brothers and sisters. Akka means in Telugu called sister. Similar way, even the gods, we called Vemulavada Rajanna, Kumravelli Mallanna, Kuravi Veeranna. The way they claim the gods are their brothers. So that festival recently finished in Warangal area. Also, Warangal had very good handicrafts. Even during Kakatiyas, they started, but still continue the legacy of the handicrafts, this place. Warangal Daris, one of the very important handmade carpets, they weaved in Warangal town. And when you compare with other carpets of this country, it's a very cheaper. And mostly they used vegetable dyes and colors. And then we have on the way to Warangal and Hyderabad, there is a small town called Pemberti, where they do the brass work. Such a beautiful brass works. Started the Kakatiyan time, but still they are continuing people in Pemberti village. Even near Pemberti, there is another one, a beautiful handicrafts. Cheriala painting. This is like more or less like miniatures. And here I'm sharing the screen. The Shavatarafs of Vishnu. It's beautifully done with hands in Cheriala. It's near Pemberti. So I hope everybody waiting for this slide. Warangal, even Telangana, Hyderabad is known for beautiful food. So many recipes in Andhra, of course, after Kakatiyans, time of Bahmanis and Nizams, we change so much of food, culinary things were changed. But the early time of Kakatiyans, we have called Telangana Thali. You never miss in the Thali, Telangana Warangal mutton curry and Sona Masuri rice, which ways enhance the taste of the mutton. Because the rice coming from dry land, wet water system. And also Jawari roti in the screen of us. And second one, you can see there a beautiful sakinalu. In Telugu, in English called as the rice crisps. So which is specially made in the month of January after getting the harvest in the rice. And we added sesame seeds in that and carom seeds like called vomu. This makes it beautiful and delicious food from Warangal. Another one is very interesting food from Warangal, which is called sarvapindi or ginnappa in Telugu. So this is a typical one because this cook in barbecue way, you imagine. They never use the deep fried this. They always do the vessel to keep it. Even they use rice flour and sesame seeds and peanuts, onion, garlic. The all ingredients they put it and make it like an easy way to cook. That's called barbecue. So it's very popular now. Whenever you go to Warangal, you just find in the streets this one. It's called sarvapindi. I know how to reach the Warangal. Warangal is one of the best Indian town, well-connected air. Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, hardly 160 kilometers from Warangal. And the best rail connection entire the country. Which nook or which corner of country you are, you easily connected to Warangal. Because the two different stations we have in Warangal, Warangal and Kajipet, Kajipet now a junction. Hyderabad, Chennai, even the Jammu Tawi, the line, and Delhi to Bangalore, whichever line you take, you can get down either Kajipet or Warangal. It's a well connected rail. And also very good bus facility from Hyderabad. Every 10 minutes, you can find the beautiful air-conditioned buses from Hyderabad to Warangal. It is run by Telangana State Road Transport Corporation. Thank you very much, dear panelists and the viewers, that given this opportunity to explain about Kakatiyan, a great Kakatiyan history and archaeology, culture, a tributary system. Thank you once again to Ministry of Tourism, Bar Madam, Mustochi Naskar Madam, and also by Ajay Singh ji. Thank you very much for giving opportunity for me.
Thanks, Srinuji. It was a wonderful presentation by you, and you saw the importance of a tourist guide. Actually, this was the vision of our ADG Madam, Rupinder Brar Madam, to organize a webinar with 75 destinations with tour guide. And now this webinar is becoming very popular, and almost this is a cup of tea, Saturday cup of tea, morning tea. People, they want by 11 o'clock, oh, the webinar is coming and we will join. Yeah. Always we choose the best speaker from the destination. Always we choose the son of soil. So always when we go for the destination, we choose the local person. Srinu is the best tourist guide in that region, and the Ministry of Tourism, Tourist Guide Federation of India, we both decided that Srinu will be our speaker for this wonderful webinar. And you presented wonderfully. It was an amazing presentation. And we will come to the another part of the Telangana and Andhra again with you, because you tempted us. And many people, they were asking about your contact number. Then even in messages they put that Srinu send your telephone number, display your telephone number. So display, you already displayed. Once again, you display your telephone number, or you can announce that one so the people can write down. The same time, I can ask to the Motosi ma'am if she want to say some word on behalf of Ministry of Tourism.
Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you, Srinu sir. That was very interesting and very insightful of the destination, and the way you have presented with the colorful images of yours. I mean, the collection from your bank, it was amazing. It was really amazing. It was the cherry on the cake. So with all this, already clock is ticking. We are at the end of session. So it's time to say
So,
goodbye. Srinu sir, if you want to
thank
say
you.
something,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Thank you very
please,
much. Thank you very
say to
much,
the
ma'am.
audience.
Respected viewers, don't forget to log in again on the next Saturday. We will show you the Karnataka, the beautiful state, and 11 o'clock next Saturday. So keep wear mask, keep distancing. Bye bye. See
Thank
you
you.
next Saturday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.